That was the perfect time to turn the camera on.
It was, wasn't it? Well, today's task is to get this bridge fit, since I didn't manage to do it the other day. So, first thing we're going to do is obviously get this out of the way. So, as you remember, we designed it to. It's just got a few screws in it and it should just lift out. The track should be disconnected. Yes, it is. Yep, still disconnected, so we can just take her out. Then the hard bit of getting that fitted. But let's go for it. So with that out of the way, we've sort of roughly sat this in, and the current thinking is if I can just shift this post ever so slightly out, these bits of box section will actually drop down like it has done at this side, and then we can use bits of aluminium like this on here with some screws in, which will actually allow us to then level it, and they will sit on here, which also means we don't have to get it perfect straight on the end. And then these bolts that are in here will just go through holes, because I want to just be able to lift this out. So we're going to see if we can just push this post ever slightly back. It is only a few mil we need to adjust it by, and this one's going to be easiest because we can actually pull it with the screws that are in, or the two rails that are running that way. That's only got one post to the centre of it, so we'll give this a go. So, with the blocks we had before supporting the underneath of it, or they sat on it, just moved up slightly, this starts to give us an idea of what height we need to be at. So, I can get this level just sat on here.
Do you remember it won't actually
Well,
level?
this is the thing, yeah. But we're still slightly down, so I need to bring that up a little bit. So, made our aluminium now in here, and we've put a load of clamps on it to get it the right height. And we have done it with a lever in the incorrect orientation, I do realise, but anyway, it's to just get the tracks to line up. We're not actually getting it level.
Well, it's not level.
Because it's not level, because it's sloping downhill. But we've basically got them so they're correct. If anything, the bridge should be slightly too high, because it's a lot easier to tap it down than it is to tap it up. So, especially that one's up. So if anything, I'm going to knock this one up a little bit more, put some screws in it, and then I can tap it down to where I'm happy. That far side I want to come up.
It might not stay up. Yeah, that clamp is only just
Yeah, it's
holding on.
a little bit more. That's better. I want that little bit of a gap, so when I put my screws in, I can knock it back down, and yeah, I'm still fine there. So we're going to put screws in this end. That end's a little bit harder because we've not got the top screws into this piece of wood, so this bit's going to be a bit harder to get correct. Obviously we've got to fill these gaps as well and get the track to line up, but that's another step in the process. So let's get some screws in here. So we've got it, we think, about level. Now the plan is to take those out of there, get it roughly in line with the track, and then go and get a thin pencil lead to mark those holes, lift it off, drill those out, and then in theory, with these screwed all the way in, these will be like the locating pegs for it, because I'm just going to drop on and off. So I just want those to drop through the aluminium.
Yeah, because they do seem to tap into the aluminium.
Yes. Yeah, which is
So
really
that's
handy
quite
for
good.
us. So they'll drop into there, and then what I've done at this end is I've taken, that screw's actually just to say in, I've taken this one out. We're going to skew it round a bit, and possibly use this piece of wood again to go in there. What I might actually do is just bring this forward a little bit so it meets up with the bridge there, and that should give us another opportunity then to put ideally 2 screws into this, to have that there to hold the track so it lines up with the bridge. That end is going to be a little bit harder because it's a bit more of a gap. And
Yes,
we've already not got a lot in here, so that might have to be built up with something.
Yeah.
We'll have to see, but if I can get this end right and those fixings in, then we can redo whatever we're doing here and get that end to match up as well.
Yeah, so there's some
So-
nice little aluminium brackets underneath there now.
Yeah.
In fact, that one's got 4 screws in, and that one on that side only has 2. Because, well, there's nothing to screw in for the other 2. But it's holding it fairly well. So we don't really need 4 screws in it. We're going to mark the holes. Oh, if you had to take the bit of lead out of the pencil.
My bit of lead's almost all the way used up. I'm going to have to get another piece.
Yeah, we have got some more.
Just hoping it is actually marking it and I don't just lift this bridge off and there's nothing there.
So, the bridge is in. It is slightly tight on getting them in.
Yeah,
This side.
I don't think it'll ever be, I mean, we are using bolts to go through a hole, which is obviously then sort of ratcheting in, but also all this wood moves, so I think my thinking of just being able to just lift it in and out might be a step too far.
I think we might be putting the nuts on the underneath, because
We might.
this is in the front garden and I don't think anybody would nick it, but it being bolted on makes it a little bit harder to just walk off with.
But that's sort of going to go there like that. Something like. But we'll fasten that to that first and then we'll go to that end.
But yeah,
But
it's on.
it's lunchtime,
It is actually pretty much, yeah.
so that's an after
And
lunch job.
Looks like it's going to rain on us, or it might. Have you been fitting things without telling the camera?
No, not me.
Because that looks very like you're fitting track.
No, can't be me. I wouldn't do such a thing. Hoping I've got it accurate enough that it will glide over there.
I mean, you might have to do something about this bit.
Well, yes. That's
Because I'm not sure anything's going to go over that right now.
no. Right. Mark that.
Make that bit join up.
And then cut the excess off. Now I've screwed it down. Might make it hard, but
And one end will be fixed at least. It's still quite the hole at the other side. That end's...
yeah.
There's still a significant gap. Although the sun is now providing us with...
that bit will go somewhere in there.
Yeah, that bit nearly fits. So that little short bit actually came from...
Yeah, that was a bit was here.
From that end.
That goes to there, extra bit in there. So I'll go get the angle grinder and zip those off. And then what we'll probably then have to do to get fish plates on, we might be able to shove the fish plates up, we'll give that a go.
We'll get them on.
Yeah, we'll get them on, and then that's that end joined. And then it's just a case of, you might just pull those back ever so slightly. Yeah, I'll just cut that side of the line and then address that end.
Yeah.
One bridge in place. Bits of track in each end. We thought we were going to have more problems at this end than we actually ended up with the end. We used the same technique. It's just a little bit spaced off the bridge, but it's not going anywhere. We've got a block of wood underneath that means it can't go down, and it's all nice and sturdy. And we've even got that running across nicely. Now you do have to think here, the direction it's coming is uphill because this is the up line, so this is the one that matters getting onto the bridge, which it's fine with, and getting off, it's fine with, as he says as he derails it by himself, getting off as well. So we will have to see once it kind of settles in and things, we might have to do a little bit of fiddling with the rails as people run round and we run a bit more stock round, but for now that is good enough. We've not put the nuts on yet, so it will. I'll just give it a wiggle, lift out. We'll have to see if we might secure it down now, because as you can see it is slightly tight at one end, but it is removable if need be. But there we go. I do like this bridge. It's very, very well made. I love it. Puts mine to shame, but there you go. So yeah, this one's done. Now, as mentioned in the previous episode, this might not stay here in a few years. We'll see, because we're possibly doing something with this area, which means this might have to just move and possibly use somewhere else. We shall see. But for now, I can enjoy it where I've got it for, and then if I need to move it, I've got a few sort of thoughts of where it would probably go anyway. But yeah, that's in. So as the sun's still out, actually it is out even more now than it was earlier, I think we'll go and find another little area that we can do some work in. So we will go and do that.
It's still going. Oh no, there you go.
I've got to go get that back now.
Yeah. Well, it looks like you found something to do.
Yes. I am fixing down this piece of track because, well, I just sort of laid it here thinking, oh, that'll sort of do for now, just as a bit of a something to fill the gap during the open day and things, and never actually fixed it down. And then a few people have run up it, and it seems to actually run alright, so I'm just going to fix it in place because it's a quarry line, not really meant for running on, but if you want to run up it, you can try. That is up to you. It will be rough, I am not levelling it, it will just be as it is, and which is vaguely level. So we're going to go up, screw it all the way up. There's a little bit of
weeding required.
Planting and things. Well, not only the weeding, because we do like these, but they're amazing that they're growing everywhere.
One of them is growing up through a hole in
this
a sleeper, which is quite impressive.
Yeah, yeah. So those will be moved to all the places because they're growing really well. And then I need to just
yes, we are going to have to do something about that bit. I don't
take
know whether
that
it's
little
going
section
to,
out there.
I think the shade is not showing it, but there's a good
Yeah.
sort of
So
finger gap.
probably just better cut that one and bring that down. And then from that point on, I don't know whether I'll be able to get this bit fixed or not. This bit might get a bit tricky, and then from there onwards is possibly a challenge for another day, but we shall see how we get on with that.
It's currently floating.
But we're going to screw up to here at least, get that bit joined onto there, and then see how it all looks around there. But yeah, right, I will keep drilling, plugging, screwing my way up the hill. So I've just chiselled away a bit out of this stone right here because there was a high point that it was bumping up and over. And I know I said to start with I wasn't going to level it, but it was a bit extreme, so we've taken that out. And then I've sort of laid bits out here. I already had these little bits of stone in here. You won't see them like this, obviously it'll be sort of ballasted over. But a few bits of rail sat in here will just bridge that section there. At the minute it's just slapped up slightly on these because they're not perfect. And then I've also then taken a little bit of a slice off the top of there, and that gets me about level all the way through here, impressively, on that. And then I went and got little John here, or Bulldog.
Tom.
Well, yeah, Tom actually. I'm just going to turn over. And as you can see, oh, this is all going, oh, oh, as you can see it's not fixed down yet. Is Tom will just about...
I don't know that I can get the camera in a place where I can show just how close that
No, do you want to go that
is.
side and see? So I'll keep going for a second. But it'll go onto there, obviously it's not totally spotted here yet, but it just squeezes past. And it does fit all the way down, have actually checked that as well. So, you can have a roundhouse, Little John, Bulldog, Hercules. In fact, Hercules would be better, there's no cab. All the way up here, which I think is plenty big enough for this quarry line. So, I'm going to go with that. I was wondering whether I just have to take a sneaky bit off that, but I didn't really want to, and no I don't, so that'll do. So yeah, so I'm going to fix that down. To get over this overhanging bit on here,
I'll go back the other side.
you go by the other side, because obviously that's just a little bit on the edge there. I'm going to try something I've not really tried before, which if I can find, that'll do for a bit of an example, a bit of rail. I'm going to drill into the stone at that sort of angle all the way along here, so that and put pieces of rail in so that it just kind of sticks out like that. Then I'm going to try and lay probably other lengths of rail on top to basically form a little bit of a barrier here, put some stones and things on top, and then the ballast and things, basically build up a little bit of a retaining edge,
Ledge.
like they would have done. A ledge
is probably the word.
a
you're looking
ledge, a ledge on there, like they've just done that, so that they can get their track across. I'll have to be careful when I get into this corner that I don't want to chip this stone off, but I'm pretty certain I can get a few in there. The tricky bit will be getting them as level as possible, because when you put your bits of rail on top they might do a bit of this, but I can bend them if need be. But I think if we get a few across there, that'll blend that in. From that point onwards I need to make some sort of wooden gantry bit over here and bits and pieces, but that can be a little bit later. I've at least got it up onto here, and I can get it fixing in, say, there somewhere, and then from that point on I'm probably going to start curving it to get onto a point on my wooden gantry. But I will drill some of these holes, I think, first before I fix the track down, and find some old lengths of rail, start putting them in, build that up, and then I can put my track on top. Let's drill the rock.
Oh heck. Well, this looks interesting.
Yeah, this is the difficult bit. Right, mark all that. So this gives you an idea. I mean, they are all supposed to be straight, but to be fair I have just bent them a little bit, so it is possible that that's just how bad my hole drilling is. But we're going to now cut those Just make sure they are at the bottom of the hole, so they are. Cut those there, and then we're going to take these bits of rail basically and sort of sit them in. There will be some gaps in here, but we'll put some stones in and things to fill those. Bring it up to about there, and then that should then give us enough to sort of ballast there, and fill that little joint in. Obviously at this end it'll just have to extend across to that.
Oh yeah.
That bit sort of there. I don't really want to drill here because I think I'll knock it off, so that end might look a little bit odd, but
it's a quarry line.
Yeah, they didn't worry about that sort of things. So, right, angle grinder, zip, down there.
This one?
That one.
Alright then.
That's your job. Bring that here.
Okay.
Now, seeing if we can get these sat down a little bit further. No, still got a high point somewhere. There. That's what I wanted. That might want to be slightly longer, that base.
We've got a few bits to choose from.
So there's going to be a little bit of
We've raided our pile
cutting in a minute.
of track. This is all bullhead rail that doesn't fit with our nice Pico track. And that doesn't touch one of those bits of rail that you've got up there, by the way.
There we go. That's what I wanted.
That's more like it. Progress update, Rob?
Well, we've got a load of rail in. How about
So what were you throwing in the gap?
that? Bits of rubble, which I need to go and get some bits more of, but I'm just trying to fill up this hole down in here so that when we put all the ballast in it doesn't all disappear down.
Unfortunately the sun's making that just look
Down
like
the
a
track.
black hole, but we'll take your word for it that there's bits of stone going in there.
Down in there like that.
And then we just have to strategically place some of those to sort of fill the little holes that are at the bottom where you can't quite get rail.
Yeah, bit big. A bit too small, so we'll put that one there. Two more. Oops, sorry, camera. Those bits in here, and then because I've been chiseling bits off here, we then start.
You're going to have to have.
We need some more
You're going to have
small
to have
bits.
something bigger here because there's a gap there. So yeah, time to fill in the holes.
Yeah.
So we'll bring you back once we've sourced some more stone and filled the holes in a bit. So we've created a bit of a waterfall while Rob's fixing a bit of track, but we filled it in with a load of bits of grit and, well, it's a mixture of ballast and grit and all sorts, to be honest.
Yep.
And then covered it in SBR and sprayed it, which is why there's quite a lot of SBR come out the bottom as well.
Out the bottom, yeah, we'll clean that up in a minute.
There's also a lot of stone dust mixed into this from where the holes were drilled, so
We're basically just trying to get it tacky enough on top that that'll all stay put, so that if we then come and try and wash this off and rub it all in underneath, it don't keep pulling it down.
yeah.
Because if you keep spraying underneath, it drags all the SBR out of it by sort of capillary.
I don't know whether I can get an angle down there, but that does look quite cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very happy with that. Obviously the SBR will sort of stick the rails on. We will put more ballast on top of this when we put the track on.
This is purely hardcore, as it would be classed.
Yeah. That's the idea.
So you're fastening that bit of track down?
I'm fastening this bit of track down.
You definitely got it in the right place, haven't you?
Yeah, sort of keeping that sleeper tucked up against there is me. Is doing it.
You know, I'm not actually sure whether I can get back out of here.
You've gonna become a quarry woman.
Yeah.
Next thing is, can I get a fixing in somewhere here?
Can you put like one in the middle?
Possibly one there, I'm sort of thinking, and there. I'm not sure I can do anything there, but that's fairly fixed, and then that might just have to be ballasted, and you're not running heavy locos over this, so let's not go too mad and split a stone and ruin it all.
Yeah, we'll give up soon, then we're not ruining anybody's attempt at sitting out in the nice evening. It's just that wind's not as warm as it could be. But for May, because we are now in May, very early May, but it is still May. It is nice.
That might be a hand job.
Oh no. Who put that rock in the way?
I don't know. Who built this thing? I won't crank that down too much because
yeah,
it could do with a bit of a packing bit under it, I think. Let's try now. That's got it.
Try and run Tom up it and see whether he still misses or whether you've done that wrong. Oh yeah.
Loads of room.
Beautiful.
There you go.
Well, this looks interesting.
This is weathering on a 1-to-1 scale, I think.
Yeah, this bucket of very mucky water.
Yeah, so we were sat out here the other day and my dad said that the walls just looked a little bit too new to sort of blend into the garden, so rather than wait a number of years to get them to weather, he suggested possibly putting some coal dust on them in water. So I had some, just sat around the shed as you do, and I did this section first. So that's kind of how it's going to look once it's dry. So there, that was one coat. I've done sort of 2 coats on this bit in here, just because I'm not sure I put it on that thick, but you should see a difference if you come down this section from, I've sort of come along to about here somewhere, and then all round here is
oh
not
yeah,
done
you can
yet.
really see it actually.
Yeah?
Well, you can see it back over here because there's a bright patch.
Yeah, well that should all be done. But it just depends what state it's. Obviously I've just gone round and I've done the top of the bricks.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the other reason for doing the top of the bricks is when I eventually get round to ballasting, I'm not going to bring my ballast right to the edge, so having that edge there a bit darker will look nicer, because I'll probably do this bit on here in a lot darker ballast because it's where I've dropped all the coal dust and everything. So yeah, that's what I'm on with. It's just kind of blended in a little bit. It does take a fair bit of brushing in. You'd think it would just brush on, but not quite that easy. There you go.
Alright,
There you go.
carry on.
1-to-1 scale weathering. So on a very windy day, I've managed to get out and come up with this solution for the trucks down the back of the wall between the fence problem. It's taken a few goes to sort of play about with it and get something that I'm happy with. So what I'm using is some bits of rail for the posts, because I have plenty of old bits of rail, and I've basically taken the piece of rail, bent it up as a 90 and then put a twist in it. The twist is quite difficult to do, but I'll show you how to do that without snapping the rail. 2 holes in it, about the right height, and the idea is this post slides in and we just chisel a little bit out of the tile adhesive mix that we put on, put it underneath, and then I've put some screws in it just to hold it for now. Obviously once we then come down here and ballast, all that will disappear so you won't be able to see it. But my concern was how to attach this to the wall when it's right on the edge, or even off the edge. And if I try to drill near the edge, the block would just break out, and then I'd have nothing to fix to, and the wall would be thin on top. So with this, I can fix in the middle of the wall, span it out, and do that. And then I've just used some garden wire. It's not PVC stuff. Yeah, some of that, some 1mm.
Garden wire.
I was hoping to find something that wasn't galvanised, because then it would rust. But I was struggling to find anything like that, and stripping off the PVC was going to be a pain. So I've just gone with this, and I think it'll look alright. It should dull in, I think. But yeah, so I've got them down here. I didn't have as many posts in to start with, but I've just put some more in it, and I think it looks a lot better. And then we've basically just got it onto the posts at each end with some actual picture frame eyelets into the end. So I've done one section, now I just need to do the section over there and the section behind me, because that needs doing as well. So as I only have one of these left, I need to go and make some more, because obviously I wasn't planning on putting this many in, so I'm now short. So let's go make some more. So now we've come out of the wind, it's far better in here. I'll show you how to make these. There's 2 of them now, it's like magic. So if you're going to make one exactly like I have, which you're probably not, but you can follow along anyway. Bit of rail, old rail. I'm using the length of my vise as a guide for the length along the bottom. So it's just enough to get you under the track, or enough to get some screws in on the wall. And then put a 90-ish degree bend in that, so that gets you your upright bit. Then the upright, which is the long one currently, I'm going to put back in the vise, and I'm going to sit it about 3/4 of an inch away. That's the measurement I've sort of gone for, because what you'll find is if I get these adjustables and get them onto my thing if I can. Oh, come on. Like that. You don't want to bend it too close to the vise, otherwise it'll snap. You've got to give it a bit of room to actually make the bend, and that's what to start with, I was bending it too close to the vise and it just kept snapping. So I found that if I do it there, I can then, if I'd actually put it in the vise, give it a bend over, and that gets me that one. And then you might just have to adjust to get it back to 90, but that gets me that one. Then I need to mark distance up, so I'm just going to use one of these as a template to cut it off. Get those to sit in line. Just marking it with a file. And I'm just going to cut it off with a grinder, or you can use a hacksaw. So next step is we're just going to grind down the ends so that you don't cut yourself, especially this side, because obviously that's going to be pointing up. So anybody getting close to your fence, they're going to catch themselves on that. So we're going to make that nice and smooth. I'm going to do this side as well because that saves me getting cut as well. Next, we need to know where we're putting the holes. So again, I'm going to grab one of my templates, lay them out on the bench like this, and you want to get the bottom so you're roughly in line. Now you don't have to be super precise with this because your wire can go up and down a little bit, but you want to be roughly right. So you want to get that about right, and then I'm just going to put a couple of punch marks in. And then drill our holes. One more made. Only
12 more?
12 more to make.
If you're going to use your template.
Gonna need more rail. Oh well, onwards we go.
And as if by magic, we've got loads of them. Before anybody points it out, yes, that one's shorter along the bottom. It was using up a bit of rail.
That was on purpose. Everything's on purpose. It's most definitely on purpose. It's not because I'm a tight arse and I wanted to make the last bit of rail out of the bit they had left.
And we've got a straight bit.
Yeah.
Which there's a.
Yeah, we're coming on to that.
We'll come on to that one later. A sneak preview of something different.
That's another bit. Now to fit.
Let's go back outside into the sunshine and the wind. So where are these ones going?
Well, yeah, we just sort of go, you know, something like kind of wherever in it.
Ooh. I think we had 6 along this bit. So you may have spaced them out a bit. Not including the end one. Yeah, not including the end one. Possibly spaced them out a little bit much.
Well, tell you what, we'll do more in the corner because they would have done.
True.
And then space them out.
We did make a spare one, to be fair, so if we decide another one is needed. Alright, and then if we go to this end. Those of you paying attention will have noticed that there was a guard's van at this end in the previous bit of video out here. It's now down the bottom of the hill. We didn't do it. It's magic.
Magic wind.
Magic wind and a hill.
Got a lot left. How have we managed that?
I think you're spacing them out more than you were before.
I'm not sure I am.
Well, there you go. Cool. Now you just get to fit them.
Yep.
We won't show all that.
No.
No.
Just like that, it's done.
What to do with this? Or extension. Yes.
Are you recording?
Yeah.
So I've got to say something.
You what?
So I've got to say something.
Oh yeah, preferably, yeah.
Right.
That was the perfect time to turn the camera on.
It was, wasn't it? Lose the bolts.